Good morning, YouTube. This is Give Me Back My Dog, and this is my first video. What we're going to look at today are 5G dangers. So when you plug 5G dangers or 5G debate into YouTube, you're going to get a lot of videos. And most of them seem to be videos debunking that 5G is dangerous. So a lot of them use the same arguments. We're going to look at one of them right now, called 5G Technology Dangers, Your Questions Answered. So is 5G bad for your health? Let's see.
5G isn't bad for your health.
So she comes right out of the gate saying 5G isn't bad for your health. Who is this lady? Is she an expert? Let's see. She is
There's a lot of concern because
an editor, not an expert in 5G or EMF radiation. She's an editor, so she's here to tell us that is good for us.
we use the word radiation when we talk about 5G.
So we use the word radiation when we talk about 5G. Why is that? Probably because it is radiation.
Radiation
But for some reason, she doesn't like calling it what it actually is. So, all right, let's keep going.
that 5G uses is a different wavelength. It's not a wavelength that's called ionizing radiation. It can't disrupt your cells in the way that too much exposure to sunlight can.
So she makes a claim here, this lady. Let's go back and take a look at her little chart here.
Exposure to sunlight.
That it can't disrupt the cells the way that sunlight can. Why? Because sunlight is ionizing radiation and cell phone radiation is non-ionizing radiation. So here you've got your big ball of fire, and this is life-threatening right here. But this stuff's perfectly fine. That's her argument. Where does she get that? She doesn't really give us any actual scientific evidence that microwave radio frequencies, all these things are good for you, other than we're supposed to take her at her word. All right, so this is bad, and this is good.
Light can. If you want to stay healthy around radiation, wear sunscreen.
So if you want to stay, I guess that's a joke. She's trying to say a joke. No facts, no evidence, but she puts in a really bad joke to try to convince us that 5G is good for us. Why is it banned in some places? Let's see what kind of genius argument she has to explain this.
The people banning it aren't necessarily connected to the evidence, and their
So you're not connected to the evidence.
priorities are more reassuring their constituencies.
So reassuring their constituencies. So you're not based in evidence, but you're just reassuring your listeners, your constituencies, or whatever her argument. Now, what facts does she present to support this claim? Let's see.
Not very au fait with the science. It's understandable why you might be scared, but
So basically, you're an idiot because you don't understand the science. That's what Kate's telling us here. But does she offer any science? Let's see.
getting to grips with the evidence and knowing that it doesn't harm you is a really important thing here.
Oh, coming to grips with the science and the evidence, knowing it doesn't harm you. And what science and evidence did she present so far to support any of her claims? Zero. Zero evidence, zero science. We're going to call her Zero Science Kate. Will 5G give tech firms the ability to spy on us? I can only imagine what Kate has to say about this.
Big tech companies already spy on us.
Oh, thank you, Kate. Wow, they already spy on us.
If you have a mobile phone that you carry around, that's effectively spying on you. If you use Google Maps, if you use Android, even if you use Apple, applications and devices are already tracking you. So 5G isn't going to bring anything additional to that party.
So, since you're already being spied on, Kate says it's perfectly fine to continue being spied on. Somehow it justifies, but she says it doesn't bring anything more to the table. And we're going to see later in the video where she contradicts herself over here somewhere. Kate really either has no idea what she's talking about, or she's getting paid to say this stuff. And again, Zero Science Kate provided zero evidence. Will 5G mass ruin
We
the
have
countryside?
already a lot of things in our environment that are man
Oh, thank you, Kate. We have a lot of things in our environment already, so that must be good.
made. So we have electricity pylons, we have
Oh.
wind turbines, we have buildings, we have street lamps. This is an addition to the built environment, and obviously anything new is going to feel quite jarring. But
Check out. Anything new is going to feel quite jarring. Yeah, the 5G is going to be quite jarring, but let's see what Kate has to tell us. Show us the science, Kate.
I think we'll get used to it, and I think
Oh my God. I think we'll get used to it. It's going to be jarring, but I think we'll get used to it. Thank you, Kate.
we're not putting it in absolutely pristine places.
I don't even know what that means. We're not putting it in pristine places. All right, here comes the bumblebee. Oh shit.
5G isn't killing bees.
5G isn't killing bees. All right. So Kate tells us 5G isn't killing bees. And what evidence does she show? The science, no science Kate here, give us to support the idea that it's not killing bees.
There is quite a lot of concern about colony collapse.
Yeah.
And in some ways, we don't know what's going on with that.
Oh, you don't know that what's going on, but you know it's not 5G.
But we do know that 5G isn't the problem. Again,
And what science? What evidence do you have? You don't know what it is, but you know it's not cell phone radiation?
because there's no mechanism for 5G to harm bees.
No mechanism. And what do you even mean by that? Oh, because it's non-ionizing radiation, which is completely safe, which we know is bullshit. Thank you, Kate. Thank you. How much are you getting paid to do this? This is ridiculous. Let's take a look at this. Just some simple videos. Watch this. Here's a cell phone with honey here. You've got honey on the cell phone. Watch what the bees do. They want that honey really bad.
So
They really
here's
do.
some bees
But as soon as
coming
they get
in
close to the phone, they're like,
from
what the?
foraging, and they just
the
don't
hell?
want to land
Can't
on
get
that
the
cell
honey.
phone. They must not like it. Surprise, surprise.
And that's just a phone. That's not a tower. That's a phone. Let's take a look at this one. We have another one with bees. All
Madre,
right.
California. But I find it interesting that they have these things up here and they don't even know if they're safe for people. But I can tell you that they definitely are not safe for our environment because it is killing bees all over the place over here. And who knows what else. There's one right there. And as they go over here, and they have two towers in between each other. As you go over here, you see a lot of dead bees everywhere.
It's a lot of dead bees.
All over the ground. There's dead bees.
Folks, just to let you know, this isn't the only video showing this. There are numerous videos you can find online. If anywhere there's a cell phone tower and a bee colony, you're going to find dead bees.
All over the ground. A bunch of them. And there's another tower that's about 40 feet away from this first one. And we come here all the time, and I never noticed. I noticed the dead bees and couldn't figure out why they were dying. And then I started hearing more about, how can I get this on there? I started hearing more about these about the Wi-Fi and the 5G. Look at all these bees.
Bees everywhere.
And this is between the two poles. So there's literally another pole right here.
One pole?
There's this one, which has many more plates on it. And then if I zoom around over this way, there's another one right here. So they're like 40 feet away from each other. And then coming down here, there's like bees all over the ground. And this is literally between the two. So I'm just trying to document this video showing what it's doing to the bees and how much more can it be doing to us and our kids and all this stuff. There goes another bee, just fell on the floor. Wow. Just fell out of the sky, another bee. As I'm filming this. Right in between this, another one. Wow. I can hear them dropping. And they're dropping in between these towers.
I mean, that's pretty messed up. So you get the point, but these are actually, just a correction, these are 4G towers, not 5G towers. But you can only imagine 5G would be just as bad, you know? They have a shorter reach, but they're going to put like 3 times as many of them up to make sure everything's covered. So you're wondering, is this a coincidence that these bees are falling? And what does Kate tell us? It can't be 5G, right? No science, no evidence. We have 2 videos showing that it probably is 5G. And right here we have a study. Effect of electromagnetic radiation of cell phone tower on foraging behavior of Asiatic honeybee. So you see there's actually multiple studies on this. And unfortunately, I couldn't find the one I was looking for. So what happens is that when they put these cell phone towers in these studies, bees become confused. And so the regular worker bees can't find their way back to the hive. So it ends up just being, they become very confused. So, or maybe they become scared off by the cell phone radiation. And the hive basically just becomes a queen bee and her eggs. And about within 10 days, the whole hive collapses. And so we have studies, this just being one, on this. But does Kate, the science and evidence Kate here, does she show us any of this stuff? No. She's just talking out of her butthole. It's just amazing. Amazing that people
5G
actually
is going to
do
give
this.
us, as a consumers,
I mean, at least a prostitute needs money when they sell themselves out, and you can have some sympathy and compassion. But what are these people? What are these people taking a payoff to just put out propaganda like this? It's insane.
a lot more connectivity, so your phone will be faster. You'll be able to stream video more
You'll be able to download Game of Thrones faster. Big deal. Who cares?
quickly without buffering. More broadly, 5G is going to deliver a much more connected world.
Much more connected world. Do you remember here where she said no ability? There's no actual ability to spy on you that we don't have already. Watch.
Instead of things talking to each other and to the cloud, they'll be able to talk across devices.
They're going to talk across devices.
So, for example, cars
So your cell phone's going to, a lot more people are going to have access to the information on your cell phone.
will be able to feed back traffic information between each other in real
Oh,
time.
thank you,
There's lots
Kate.
good coming from 5G.
That's lots good. Like 100 times more people have access to your cell phone information. There's actually some good videos on this where they actually tell you that the ability to spy on you is going to go up astronomically. And Kate basically tells us this here, despite the fact that she lied to us over here. Look at this. Let's see who she works for. Which, question mark. This probably should be WITCH. And this lady here, it's really sad that people just don't care. People don't care. So that they'll just sell themselves out for anything. And so when we look at the science, Kate talks a lot. We call her No Science Kate, but she speaks over here where you're a dummy because you're not looking at the science and evidence. That's in nicer terms. That's what she was telling us. So when we look actually at the science, and we don't have time to look at all the studies, but we have Scientific American right here. Scientific American. We have no reason to believe 5G is safe. Now, why would they say that? It could pose health risks. Citing a large body of research right here, more than 240 scientists who have published peer-reviewed research on the biological and health effects of non-ionizing electromagnetic fields signed the International EMF Scientist Appeal, which calls for stronger exposure limits. The appeal makes the following assertions. Numerous recent scientific publications have shown that EMF affects living organisms at levels well below most international and national guidelines. Effects include increased cancer risk, cellular stress, increase in harmful free radicals, genetic damage, basically it damages your DNA, structural and functional changes of the reproductive system. So if you're a guy and you've got this in your pocket, good luck having kids. Your sperm, they're going to become like the honeybee. They're not going to know what the hell they're doing anymore, where they're supposed to go. Learning and memory deficits, neurological disorders, the negative impacts on general well-being in humans. Damage goes well beyond the human race, as there is growing evidence of harmful effects to both plant and animal life, which we saw right here with the honeybees, which No Science Kate told us, although she has no idea what's causing it, it can't be 5G. Okay, so the scientists who signed this appeal arguably constitute the majority of experts on the effects of what? Non-ionizing radiation, right? So we got No Science Kate over here. Let's find it. Her little chart. This is perfectly good for you. The sun is life-threatening. This is perfectly fine over here. But the scientists here, specifically over 2,000 professional studies on non-ionizing radiation, saying it's linked to all of these things. Cancer, DNA damage, memory deficits, all kinds of things. And so, I don't know if there's anything else in this article that we wanted to look at. That's about it. You can read it online if you want to and come to your own conclusion. But this is a common argument with these people. It can't break the skin barrier. It's not, and you can see they're full of shit because all of these scientists who constitute a majority of experts on the subject say that's not true. Absolutely not true. But we're supposed to take Kate at her word. And so, unfortunately, we have a lot of videos on YouTube like this goofball right here on CNET. He kind of has a little more in-depth video, which we could take a look at. But you can see that this guy is using the same arguments with no science, no evidence, no research. They always allude to science. Oh, it's the science. Yeah, it's the science says this. But they don't show you any science. You can look it up. And when you look up the science, you find out people like Kate, No Science Kate, and this idiot right here, this goofball, they're lying to you. They're full of shit. He'll put on his tinfoil hat and he'll tell you, oh, they try to shame you into thinking it's good for you, but look who he works for. You got CNET right here. These people all work for somebody in the industry that stands to benefit probably from 5G. So they're just kind of getting paid to put up these propaganda videos that sound good. When you investigate what they have to say, you find out that they are basically just bullshitting you. This guy here, look at this. Another prostitute, you know? What's it like to have to sell your soul, to have to push 5G when you know it's bad for you? You know it is. Everybody 250 scientists, all experts who constitute the majority of experts, all know it's bad for you. So if you get into a debate and people use these type of stupid arguments like Kate and this goofball right here are using, just kind of keep in mind, challenge them to show you proof that non-ionizing radiation is not harmful. Just show them this. Scientific American has all of these scientists saying otherwise, and you can look it up. You know what? I think that's going to be it for this video, but I might put down in the description, I might put a couple links to a couple videos, I think, that you can take your time to watch and maybe form a more clear opinion on really what 5G is and whether it's good for you or not. Because unfortunately, today we have people that stand to make money off things kind of manipulate and use science to try to push their agendas. And really, they're very unscientific. All of these videos, we could take a look at all of them. I bet there's no science in any of these videos. Just a lot of shaming tactics, so you have to be aware. That's what propaganda is. So good luck. Hopefully, if you get time to, if we ever want to like read the studies, we could put up a list of studies that you can just go read and look at them for yourself. Oh, there's that goofball again. Let's get out of here. That is it for me. I am Gimme Back My Dog, and I'm out of here.